Somebody was leading the church service, and they said, I'm so grateful that at this church we teach waking up, that everybody is already enlightened. We're just asleep. We don't know just how awake we truly are. And the practices that we do are about waking up to what's always present. It doesn't go anywhere. Our mind just drifts off and falls back asleep. We suffer from what's called cosmic amnesia. Somebody sort of walks around with, I don't know, what am I doing? What am I? I have these thoughts and feelings, and I'm so tired, and I haven't even left the house yet. Jeez. We wake up. We wake up. We're waking up together to who we are. I didn't really know what to call the talk. I kept changing the name of it. The cosmic setup, I like that, yes? And then I went to, or maybe, well, let's see, divine string theory. I thought about that. I've got this one here from the book. And then I thought about, wait a minute, how about how to become a descended master? We don't need ascended masters in La La Land away from us. We need descended masters. People who are here now in their body, bringing wakefulness to all the parts of us and all other beings that are asleep. We need descended masters. Do you want to know how to become a descended master? Yes. Well, I've got two things to share with you. Don't put it on the screen yet, we'll do it at the end. It's actually from your lesson summation, and it comes from Eckhart Tolle and Adashanti. Here's the two things to become a descended master, the whole chapter, chapter 7, about how to uncoil from our old patterning. It says this, whenever you feel negativity arising within you, whether caused by an external factor, a thought, or even nothing in particular that you're aware of, look on it as a voice saying, attention, here and now, wake up. Attention, here and now, wake up. Say it with me. Attention, here and now, wake up. Even the slightest irritation is significant and needs to be acknowledged and looked at. Otherwise, there'll be a cumulative buildup of unobserved reactions. Of course, the miracle says there's no difference between slight irritation and intense rage. But it's good to catch it when it's a slight irritation, because then you can do something with it. When it becomes intense rage, repeat lesson coming soon. Adashanti says it this way, when we start to suffer, it tells us something very valuable. It means that we are not seeing the truth and we are not relating from the truth. It's a beautiful pointer and it never ever fails. It always points right back to you. This is about after awakening and realization. After the laundry, we said last week, after ecstasy, the laundry, right? This is about how the rubber hits the road. And she talks about this in the analogy beautifully of a ball of twine covering up the truth, divine. I just made that up. It's the ball of twine covering the inner truth of our divine nature. And what happens to us is, in this world of duality, where we get all caught up and tight and tense, is we keep falling asleep and reacting from the place of tension, which creates that tension in our bodies. And it wraps this energy all around us until we're all wound up and filled with tension. And what's inside this beautiful twine is the ball of light. It is what you and I are. It is that imprisoned splendor within each one of us. Browning says, it takes no rise from outer things. Whate'er you may believe, there is an innermost center within us all, where truth abides in fullness. And round upon round, wall upon wall, the gross flesh hems it in, that clear perception of truth. And so the work is not about going anywhere. It's about releasing and letting go into what's already here. We all have, this is, by the way, my string theory, we all have a long string of pseudo-solutions to non-existent problems that we create every day. It's a different problem. Do you ever notice how you solve a problem and then another one pops up? Isn't that interesting? And then another one? You never seem to be done with it. Well, the truth is you never will be done with it. The truth shall set you free if you bring awareness to the moments where you choose to be tense. And so the work is about unraveling that part of us. And also, it's about learning how to find the end of the string. The ego tells you, the separate self, the mind-made self, I can tell you where it is. I can show you. Oh, but me be the way. And it doesn't really show you where the end of the twine is. It just shows you how to get more wrapped up. How to get more tense, how to get more crazy, how to blame somebody else for why your life, once again, isn't working out the way you want it to. It doesn't know how to do anything except keep doing that. But there's a greater part of your being. If you bring yourself into the present moment, can help you see things that are present right here now. And the greatest teacher of that in this book of embodiment, this chapter, is noticing tension in your body before you project it outside of yourself. You just notice tension. Oh, there's tension in my body. I'm feeling it right now, here in this moment. I can feel my suffering is beginning here. If you can stay awake, and you can, in fact, the universe supports us in awakening by uncovering those places of tension in each predominant moment where we would tense up again. And not even notice that we're doing it. Most people have no idea. They do this 1,000 times a day. Oh, traffic. People, situations, the government, Syria, the problems of the world, what she said, what he said, it's their fault, gotta figure it out. Tense, tense, tense. And again, we have not even left the house yet. Things aren't gonna go well today, I can tell. You begin to take a look at those tense, intense moments of where you notice the tension first arising within you. That's all. You just notice it. You don't change it. You don't say, I don't feel tension. You just are aware of, here it is again. Something happened, and then like Pavlov's dog, the medulla part of the brain, the medulla oblongata, right away attacks. I had a great example of this while we were at Kanuga at the conference. It's Monday. There's nothing more pitiful than 40 ministers on Monday. We are we gave at the office. We're pathetically tired. We've let all the light shine through us, and now we're just like barely able to drag our bodies around. Some people have driven 6 hours, 8 hours to get there. And by 2:30, when we're supposed to be having our cathartic sharing about how our year went, none of us have any energy at all. We're just dog tired. And many of us have not seen each other for a whole year. We don't see each other a lot. So I'm meeting people, I'm there with them, and of course I've got my shorts on and I've got my knee brace on. So this brings on a whole host of, well, what happened to your knee? And then I had to go into the whole wounded knee story of my granddaughter going down the road, and she cut me off, and to avoid hitting her, I dropped the bike and went flying and did my hip and my knee. Over and over and over again, I got to share that, and I'm kind of being tired, but I'm sharing it. But the worst part of it is, in fact, the worst part is then, well, I've got a cure for you. Have you tried this? Have you done that? Have you thought this? Have you thought that? Have you taken this? Have you taken that? I got the product, I got the machine, it's in my room. It's really going to help. I got something to fix you right here and now. People are just going, ah! And finally, the last person to do that was Reverend Ron. Reverend Ron came up and he goes, I got something that can help you. And he was the one who got my knee-jerk reaction. It's like, Ron, no, can't hear it, don't want to hear it. No, I just jumped all over him. I noticed that I jumped on him. In fact, Maureen noticed it so much that she gave me 2 rolled eyeballs. Not just one, but, oh boy, that is something that's calling for an immediate redo. Strike 3, you're out. And I went, okay, well, here's what I can do. I can say nothing and walk away and create separation. Or instead, even though I'm tired, I can do what I did. I walked over to my brother, Ron, and I put my 2 hands on his face, and I said, Ron, I'm tired. Just like you are, 2 services, I'm weary from a 6-hour drive. I've had one heck of a week this week. Maybe by Wednesday, I can hear what you have to tell me. It was Monday. But I can't hear it now. And it was really interesting, because what that did, it immediately created this incredible bond between us. And where we could have spent the rest of the retreat being tense and me feeling bad that I metaphysically blew it once again and beating myself up, we got to connect. I shared with him little t truth of what was true in the moment, with just giving it to him at that moment.
in a way that just said, I'm taking full responsibility for this. I want you to know I'll listen to you later. And it was great because for the rest of the retreat, we were really connected to each other. Life offers us gazillions of moments each day to do just that. When the things that bother you show up, they're not your enemy. It's not life trying to get you. They're wake-up calls. So you do meditation, you do prayer, you do a Course in Miracles lesson, you work on whatever it is that you do. But the real rubber hits the road is your everyday life. Everyday life. And guess what your greatest teachers are? The things and the people that bother you. That is your greatest teacher. And the wonderful thing about the universe is they'll keep coming back. I got a new ministry, I'm going off to Unity and blah, 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 and everything's going to be great. It's like, well, you had a lot of problems at that other ministry you were at, but leave them behind. They were the problem. I'll start off brand new with somebody else. And you know what? Don, everything that happened at the other ministry shows up in this one. Isn't that interesting? Because that's you. Wherever you go, there you are. And you bring you with you, and people just become your mirror. Your mirror in that moment. Of another moment to either get tense and get all tight, or unwind and relax. Doesn't mean you don't say anything or do anything. I apologized. Sometimes I walk and have to say something. It's not about not doing anything. It's about noticing the tension in you, where you get wound up and real tight over and over and over again. So this book is rubber hit the road stuff now. We've talked about our enlightening moments, our awakening, and now we're bringing it into everyday life. Our awakening never goes anywhere. We do. God isn't, I found God. Well, God was never missing. Where were you? I found God. You found God. Where do you think God went? God is here. God is right now. The presence of the beloved is always right here and right now. Whenever we find ourselves getting tense, it's a good indication that we're doing it again. We're getting caught up again. And all you have to do is just watch it and spend that time choosing to release rather than contract and react and get all tight again. And the truth is, what is in charge of finding the end of the rope is not the mind-made self. It's your willingness to see what's going on in each moment and go, the problem right now is I'm feeling tension and resistance in my body. That is my only problem. That helps you find the end of the rope. You stay in touch with what you can deal with. Not what other people are or aren't doing, but what you're choosing to do with each moment. Breathe with me now. I'm teaching myself most of what I need to learn. Every day, every day. It's wonderful. There's a particular saying that I got from a book that Jack Orville wrote from Boulder, Colorado. And our hearts go out to all of our brothers and sisters in Boulder, right? It does. And Jack had a book called The Ego Strikes Back, and then he talks about an army term, a military term, called a handbook. If you get captured by the enemy, escape early. Escape early. That's a great motto. Escape early. While they still don't know what to do with you yet. If you stay stuck in the enemy's territory, they, in time, figure out what to do with you, and it gets harder to escape and get out of that negative pattern of thinking. The same is true when you're dealing with yourself. If you get caught, and you will, and you get captured by the enemy, try to escape early. That was what I was doing with the situation with Ron. I went and even though I was tired, even though I didn't feel like it, even though I just wanted everything to go away, I went and talked with my brother. And we became good friends, even deeper friends, because of my willingness to do that. And in your life, we'll give you examples of that over and over and over and over and over again. It's a repeat performance. There's no guilt or shame in this. If you don't want to take the lesson today, then you can take it tomorrow. God is not worried about how long you take to awaken, but it's a good thing not to waste time. So I'm at Beth Ventry's office. She's working on my pain, my hip. That's there very powerfully. And it's been 3 months. So she says to me, well, we need to look at this now because it's 3 months and we don't want to not get this freed up, this energy. She goes, so we're going to do it from certain levels. You'll do the work with me or wherever you want to, and we'll work on some of those physical therapy things that we can do, or anything else, acupuncture. We also want to get you an x-ray of the hip and the knee to make sure we're not missing anything. The medical model is not the enemy. No! It's not bad. Oh, physical therapy, good. Bad. No, it's just helpful. to get information, so you can know what to do with it. And she says, I want you to lie down on the table. You know, you end up flat on your face, right? The spiritual path is equal exactly to the length of your body. It consists of falling flat on your face and picking yourself up over and over and over again. Have you noticed that? So I'm flat on my face like this. And she says, I want you to go back with me. And she's touching my back and my hip. I want you to go back with me to the moment when the accident happened and you fell off the bicycle and you went flying on the cement. How did you feel? And I said, absolute and incredible acute pain. Pain. Sharp, sharp pain. What did you do right after that? I said, I got up and I looked at Emerson, who was totally frightened. Wasn't hurt, I didn't hit her. I moved to avoid her. And I was immediately concerned with her and how she felt about what happened. She knew she'd cut me off. And she goes, so you just took that pain and you stuffed it in your body. And you never got a chance to release it because you were protecting your daughter from hurting her feelings or making her feel bad. How many times have any one of us here in that room done that? Stuff the pain. Put it into our body. She goes, that body of yours now is stuck in the pain of not being able to express what needed to happen in that moment. If you had been by yourself, what do you think you would have done? I said, well, I might have screamed. And I said, I probably would have cried a lot. And so I started crying while she had me on the thing. She said, weeping. And she said, your body is your friend, and it's holding on to this. And it wants to release it and let it go. And so why don't you just tell your body you're sorry and tell it that it can let go of this. It doesn't need to hold on to this tension and this pain anymore. Just talk to it. And I've been doing that ever since. I've been doing it a lot. I've been crying a lot every time I think about it. And something has released and changed. I can feel a shift just in being able to see that. Now we do this hundreds of times a day. To be a descended master, to get the cosmic setup, we do this work. And the beauty of it is, it doesn't mean, well, I'm only going to be attention, awake, here and now, attention, here and now, awake, to the moment what's going on. You can also go into anything that you have in the past, not acknowledged or owned in yourself, and you can bring it to the present moment, because there's no past, there's no present, it's all happening when? Here and now. So 3 months ago I had that moment. I can relive it just by being thoughtful and aware that this is happening now. And then you can release it in the now. And this can go back as long as you want it to. The process is continuous because it's all happening now, and the lessons will keep repeating themselves until you choose to learn them. Releasing that tension in my body now and giving thanks to those body parts that have been holding the brunt of trapped energy, because that's all our pain in our body is, right? It's just trapped energy. Great gift of having someone help me see that. And when I stood up and I left, the pain was still there, but I was talking to my body about it in a very different way. I was making it aware how much I loved and thanked it for being such a good body, and for doing what it could do for protecting my granddaughter from me hitting her. And now I was willing to let that go. The Tibetans call it the Tonglen practice. Tibetan flags out there. You breathe in the pain. Mix it with your heart, and you breathe on out the love. So your heart can be a place where the world can change forever. You breathe it in, but you don't leave it there. Then you breathe it out. You release it. You release it. And being present in the moment helps us be able to do those kinds of things, to notice the tension and begin to unwind. So we can get to the ball of light within us. So as your lessons come back now, it's 3 days later, and another brother, David Hiller. Do you remember David Hiller? David Hiller was my story from the talk from expectations to acceptance. And he was my example of my friend who had a car accident and hurt himself, and he's been dealing with hip pain too. And he goes, I think I've got something that I can help you with, the technique. But you know what? 3 days later, I was ready for it. Bring it on! Anything that will help. mostly I want to know about it. I've tried many, many different things, and they've offered help, so I'm ready. Every time you come here, we give you a different technique that might be just the thing you need in that moment for your own healing and wholeness. So he said, I want you to, once again, you're flat, this would never stop, back down on the floor again, right? Like this, lie down. He said, I'm going to take my thumb right here, and this is somebody, he taught me this, who does the Dallas Cowboys, and they're filled with hip injury and hip pain. This is going to help you. And I said, I'm a hippie who's ready to get released from this hip pain. So he takes his finger and he says, I'm going to stick it in the spot. Oh boy, there it is. And I'm going to press. And I'm going to press really harder than you think I should be. And I want you to do is just let me press that in, press that. I'm doing it right now. And then slowly, as I press it in, move your knee down like this and just turn your foot out. Oh, like that. I said, wow, that hurt, but it felt good. He goes, well, we got to do it again. And I said, well, why do I have to do it again? I've already got through this. Another Sunday, another Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's pain and tension has once again entered your body. Back down, do it. All right, I'll do it again. How many times must I forgive that stupid, dumb? You know what I'm talking about now. And once again, breathe, 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 and turn it out. Did it 3 times. And I got to tell you, when I stood up, I felt really better. Remarkably better. And now I have a technique that I can use, as I hope you're getting some for your life today, by myself. I can do that. I did it right after the second service. It was hurting, I did that, and it relieved the tension and the pain. I woke up the next morning, and I was actually able to take a walk around Daisy Lake Trail. It's a mile long. Last year at Canoga, I ran it 15 times. It's a mile long. This year, I can only walk around it. But I was grateful that I could do at least that. You never know what you have until you don't have it any longer, until it gets taken away from you. There's a wonderful part in this book that I didn't remember to read. It's at the very last part of the chapter, and it says it this way, again, from Life Beyond Belief. Allowing life to heal our deepest wounds is not work for the faint-hearted. It seems to require us to be willing to drop our defenses against life, which means letting go of the props that we have used all of our lives to keep our existential fears and to keep us uncomfortable. If we are willing to face this level of conditioned content, we then find that we're also able to open ourselves up fully to what life gives us in our daily lives and let life unwind the string on our proverbial ball of twine and complete whatever we are ready to be finished with in each moment, each moment. So are you ready to be a descended master? Yes? Well, here's the 2 interesting points. Put it back up now. It's your lesson summation. Doesn't get any better than this. It's the cosmic setup for awakening. Whenever you feel negativity arising within you, whether caused by an external factor, a thought, or even nothing in particular that you're aware of, look on it as a voice saying, attention, here and now, wake up, say it with me. Attention, here and now, wake up. Even the slightest irritation is significant and needs to be acknowledged and looked at. Otherwise, there'll be a cumulative buildup of unobserved reactions, and your poor body is going to take it all on because it hasn't been let go. And the next one from Avisham, he says it this way. When we start to suffer, it tells us something very valuable. It means that we are not seeing the truth, and we are not relating from the truth. It is a beautiful pointing back where? Towards us. It helps us unwind and find within this wonderful ball, as we unwind, as long as it takes, the ball of light that we already truly are. And as we practice allowing that light to shine forth brightly from within us, we then can be like my dear friend Beth Ventry, a healing force to help others unwind and find the divine within this moment. Practice this so well and so deeply. It will not just be for you, but for the rest of the world that's so tied up in knots now and needs to unwind. Yeah. Namaste.